Greetings, Anstiora and known world. This is Beatrice Canzonari Malatesta di Palermo, coming from sunny Loxoye today. And today I have Malkyn for this episode of What's in Your Basket. So Malkyn, you want to give us, first of all, give us your whole name and kind of give us a little bit of your persona and tell us, what you like to do in the SCA.
Okay. Hi, my name is Malkyn Hawk. I mostly focus for this persona on 14th century, very early 15th century England and Scotland. I have a secondary persona that is Mally Lemontart that you may be more familiar with if you've seen me in the known world courtesans. And that focuses on late period Europe in general. She likes to travel and trot about. So I'm also a member of the Valkyries, so I sword fight, just started that. So yeah, that's sort of what I do. Oh, I should mention I'm also a member of the Norman Med Faire cast, which is what my basket is mostly centered around because that's most of what I have done for the past 5 years. So yeah, you may know me as Jean de Clisson, His Majesty's favorite privateer, if you have ever been up to the Norman Med Faire. So,
well, cool. Well, let's see what's in your basket. First of all, where'd you get your basket? Let's see it.
I got my basket about 5 years ago from Hobby Lobby or Joann's, somewhere like that. It is a sturdy little basket that's held on for a long time from a lot of abuse. So
yeah, I have a favorite that finally died after a decade that I got from, I think it was Hobby Lobby. So you can find good ones everywhere. So
you can.
All right, so let's see what you got.
When we start.
All right.
The first thing, I have kind of different basket setup because at Med Faire we have a tent that we leave most of our baskets in. So this isn't what I carry around all day. This is what I carry like to and from the car to the pavilion and then back, and just sort of the home base sort of. So I keep everything here. If I have to take it out, I unload most of this. I'm not walking around like, hello, how are you? Enjoy my giant basket. So the first thing I have is a parasol. It gets hot in April sometimes, and I am very pale. You can't tell. So I try to keep a parasol on me most of the time to make sure I don't burn. And then I usually just cover it up when I'm walking to and from with a spare veil, because someone always forgets a veil. Sometimes that person is me, and if I have it covering my basket, I will not forget a veil. I figured out that that's a pretty good
Makes
thing.
Perfect sense.
This is like an archaeological excavation trying to get through this whole thing.
It's all right.
I have a fan. I always carry a fan on me. I have like 4 of these little wooden fans that I actually carry one in my purse because I'm always fidgeting and I'm always hot. So if I have one, then, I've taken this to softball games and just sat there and just fan myself at softball games, which gets you strange looks from your sisters.
So is that your fidget tool?
This is my oldest fidget tool. Yeah, is a fan. I also have it's on my belt, so I don't know if you can see it. A Paternoster that my friend Catherine Throckmorton made for me recently. So that's my newest one. So this way I always have something. I have a fan or some beads to mess with, one or the other. See, and the next thing I have is I always carry gloves. These are my sword fighting gloves, but it is sometimes warm in April in Namron. It is sometimes sleeting sideways on you.
Right.
It varies greatly. That is a couple years ago it did sleet sideways on us. So I learned from that to always keep gloves on me because you never know how cold it's going to be. And then I keep a makeup bag, and I have a nice little pouch that I slide my actual makeup bag into, so it's less.
That works.
This isn't for SCA. I probably wouldn't carry this around, but people are constantly taking pictures of you, and I do mean constantly.
Yes.
Like you're like a human petting zoo. at the Med Faire, and so I try to look acceptable. I try to look how I would want my pictures to look, so I touch up throughout the day.
Well, as an SCA musician, I get photographed a lot, so I can definitely hear that. I try to look a little better than normal.
Yeah, it's like, oh, do I want this on Facebook forever? Do I want a picture of me looking like this on some 4-year-old's scrapbook that's going to be maintained for the rest of their lives?
Right.
To have that talk. I'm okay with this. Then I have the big bag of anachronisms, which is just this big bag that's filled with everything that is not period. So like jerky, dried pineapple. I have to keep food in there because I'm of the opinion that for fair people, if you're a fair person, you are either a food fair person or you are a trinket fair person. You are either spending all of your money on the food or you're spending all of your money on like the knickknacks and the fun little things. Mm-hmm. I'm not a food person. I would much rather spend my money on
things you can bring home. I can understand that.
Yes, yeah. The little book dragon I have up here, the stuffed book dragon that I have on my desk is forever. A meat pie is 10 minutes. So that's right. That's sort of my thought process. So and then I have a glasses case. I don't actually wear my glasses at fair or SCA because I have crooked ears and they fly off my face if I have to dance. So it's just safer if they're not on my face. So I try to keep a glasses case in there so I can slide them off and on at will. Have a hairbrush. My hair's short now. This isn't as necessary as it was last year. I have a giant bottle of pain meds because I am that chronically ill friend that's like, do you need pain meds? Do you need a back brace? What do you need? I'm sure I've got it in here. First aid kit.
That's a good one.
I took first aid training a couple years ago, and I do not go anywhere without a first aid kit now. I'm so paranoid. Like, what if someone stabs themselves? I've got to be ready.
Well, we did the kids rapier for so long. I keep one in my box I take to my pavilion that's well stocked. I mean, I could practically do surgery with it. So.
Ooh, that's nice. I can see, kids rapier. I know how dangerous me with a rapier is. I can imagine how dangerous it is.
It's mostly scrapes and boo-boos, and I use it more on the adults actually. So I had the wrong idea.
And the last two things are deodorant, spare deodorant, very necessary. If you're 8 hours a day, no break, very few breaks. I will say we were forced to take breaks by each other, but you kind of need it. Hand cream if it's cold. If it's cold, if it's hot. This is a nice little like roll up that won't melt everywhere or spread everywhere. It's from the Bee Folks, and this one smells exactly like an orange push pop.
Oh,
it's
that's
my favorite.
Nice. I like that.
It is my favorite lotion. And we are done with that, with the bag of anachronisms. I have socks. These are my nice socks that I usually wear by Socks of America because Faircast loves Socks by America. Mm-hmm. But since I'm not wearing them today, since I'm just sitting at home, I figured that they would be nicer than an old pair of white spare socks that I keep in my basket sometimes. So.
Oh, sorry. Etienne was going to chime in a little bit. Sorry. Go ahead.
And then I have just a thing that the Med Faire cast does is we make ribbon roses to give out, kind of like largesse, but it's just like gifts, especially for little kids. And a lot of us, this is one of my colors. Yeah, kids love these. This is one that's in my heraldic colors for Med Faire and SCA. It's just my dress that I tend to wear for Med Faire, and then my actual colors in the SCA. And then, so I just have spare ribbons. It's a very good thing to do, or we call it a passive stick, which is where you're just sitting down, you need a break, but you're still a petting zoo, so you still have to be kind of on and smiley. So it's a nice thing that you can do. And if kids come up and talk to you, then you can be like, okay, so ribbon rose, there you go. It works. It keeps your hands busy, keeps kids entertained. I'm nearing the bottom of this excavation of a bag. I have a little wooden box that has been a lot of things. It's been my medicine box. Right now it's kind of a miscellaneous box. I have like bobby pins and safety pins in it because you always need those. I can't eat cough drops because I have asthma, but so I try to keep like hard candy or something in there. This is a little ask a favor. One of their little samplers. They're really good. They have just straight up honey candy that I like, so I keep some of that in there at all times. So if I start choking on air, then I have something to do. For some reason, last year I put my dice, like my D&D dice,
in your bag. That works. You never know when a game of D&D is going to break out, especially around our house. So
yeah, especially with fair people and SCA people, it's like at the drop of a hat. So I guess in my brain I was like, I've got to be ready. Someone at the fair is going to be like, hey, you want to play D&D? And I don't want to be the person like, oh, I don't have dice in my basket. Right. So I guess still don't know the rationale. They've never left. I have a pair of skirt hikes, which are not the most accurate thing, but
yeah, I don't even know what those are.
So I can stand up and put them on, or I'll take off my belt. But so they are it's a way to hold up your skirt that's a little more secure than tucking it in your belt.
Oh, okay.
So they're really common with like Ren Fair costumes because they can kind of create a look. Med Faire Cats likes them because sometimes if it rains, the ground is soup. Yes. And you do not want
had to tuck my dress up in the mud.
Yeah. And you don't want a soupy dress, especially if you're one of the I did that completely wrong. If you're one of the shiny hats is what we call our king and queen and prince and princess, who is not SCA rank, but just
I understand.
They're playing King Edward and Queen Philippa and the Black Prince and Joan Kim. So you just take your skirt. Usually I just do my overskirt so I'm not flashing ankles, and you slip it through the ring, through both of the rings. Pull that the front ring up, and I don't know if it's easy to see.
It's like you do instrument straps. That's a good idea.
Yes. Yeah. It's basically those. And then your skirt's hiked, you can walk around and not worry about being covered in mud later, which is pretty useful sometimes.
Absolutely.
And
we know they're probably not, period, but sometimes you got to do some practical things.
Sometimes you just have to, and I try not to wear them all the time because they are just another thing on your belt, especially. But if it's soupy, I keep them in my bag. So if it starts looking like soup, these are from, I'm going to give them a shout out because they're my favorite, Scappa Leather.
Oh, okay.
They are absolutely wonderful. You can find them online. They're wonderful, queer-owned business. They're a wonderful friend of the cast. We love them very, very, very much. They make belts, pouches. If I'm wearing leather, it's probably from Scappa. So, all right. Most of the cast. And then the very last thing in here is the little dragon egg that I also got at Cast. Fair. And it's just in here because I got it and never took it out. So
I have some things like that. I have, a couple of things I've had probably in my basket for 30 years, and it's just transferred between baskets for no purpose, but it's just what goes in my basket. I understand.
Yeah. It's like, this lives in here. This is where it lives now, so I guess that's it, other than a little piece of fabric that I keep in the bottom just to look nice. That's what I take to and from, and that's how you get ready for a weekend of cast and fair work. So
well, that's good. we know that, most of the SCA in the OKC area really support, Med Faire. So someday I'm going to make the 9-hour
Yeah.
trek up there and go. In fact, I was supposed to go a couple of years ago, but it just didn't happen. I think it was a weather thing. So, but thank you so much for joining us today. And
If it was like 2 years ago exactly.
Mhm.
Oh, you're welcome.
Well, and letting us know
Sorry,
what
you
you do
went out.
basket. Thank you
Oh,
for letting
thank
us know
you
what
so
you do
much. I'm so
basket.
glad to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm
Bye-bye.
so glad to be here. It's been awesome. Thanks, Mia.
Thank you.